Well, hi guys, how you doing? My name's Paul, this is Plan Z. Welcome to the session. The last video I did, actually before I get cracking, I just want to say Happy Christmas. Hope you're having a wonderful festive time wherever you are. Hopefully you're having a great time. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go back to my GT1000 cab sims and just see. Basically, if you're new to the sessions, I use 2 Notes Cab M on the back end of my GT1000, and I did a little video, I don't know, about a week ago where I dialed in a Tweed and I've tweaked it a little bit, and since that video I've tweaked my 2 Notes. So this is my Tweed, we're on the Les Paul. I have got the telly primed, but I managed to break a string just before hitting play on the camera. So we're going to start with the Les Paul, and we'll pick up the telly for a tone, but we will be missing the top E. So this is my Tweed neck pickup of the Les Paul. And what I'm going to do now is go to a patch that I've got prepared, and I want to do this with all of the amps as I do the amp deep dives. So I've got basically a very similar patch set up. When we go in, we hit a noise suppressor. We've got 2 amps, and this button switches between the 2. We've got a low gain and a medium gain. Let's stay on the medium gain. Then we hit the amp. So this is set up the same way as it is in the other patch, I think. So I've got my gain at 40, sag at +7, resonance at +5, level crank to 75. The bass is on 48, the mid's on 46, my treble at 50, and I've got the presence at 60, and the bright is on. Before we talk about the EQ, I want to just show you what's happening at the output. Now, I've got this one set up so I can change between 2 Notes Cab M, which is set on my main output, where I've got the mic levels here turned to 0, but I've got all the direct mix being fed through because I've got mics on two notes, so that's what I'm using, and I've got that separated left and right, okay? And then in this side, as a starting point, and this will probably sound awful to start with, I've got the original Cabs dynamic 57 mic on a short distance, 3 centimeters away, mic level up, direct mix off, obviously. So straight away, it feels like to me the signal's stronger in one side than it is in the other, but I can see on my volume meter that I'm getting signal at both sides equally, and I'm seeing that on my mixer. So what we're going to do in a moment is we're just going to dial these cabinets in, hopefully to sound more like the 2 Notes, because what I do need to do is save a bunch of patches in here that are templates ready to go. So let me just explain the patch a little bit more to you. So what happens is we hit our first EQ after the amp. This EQ deals with low end, so I'm giving it a +2, and then I take out 2 dB. I'm just going to leave that at 3 dB for the minute, 3 dB on a Q of 8, and then I take out 500 on a Q of 4, minus 3 dB. Then we hit a divide. Now what's happening is every time I change cabinet, I've got an EQ block in here that we can use to kind of sort out any differences. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the end EQ first, because this one applies to both outputs. So I've got a -1 on the low end, a +1 on the high end, and a +1 for the level. I'm just taking out 4K, Q of 8, -3, 5K the same. Okay? Yeah, the same. And 8K on the high cut. That's what that sounds like, okay? Now, in the other patch where I had the Tweed, I've got this on. And what's happening with this EQ is I give it a bump at 630 Hz by 3 dB on a Q of 2, and I'm giving it a bump at 125, 1.25 kilohertz. Let's turn that on. Okay, so I do take one back on the level there to gain stage it. So let's on this side, what I want to do is I want to start out by dealing with these speakers. So 2 notes here, to me that sounds nice and warm. I've got enough tops, all of the frequency range there that I want. When I go to GT1000, I feel like I've got half of what I want, and it feels really boxed in. Where's all the low end? So what we're going to do is we're going to apply the same EQ. So let me just have a quick look here. So we said 3. Let's just see if this is the same. Do it 3. Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take 1 off that. So I'm going to leave that for the moment, and now what I want to deal with is this harshness. So there's a few things we can do. We can change microphones, we can change cabinets, and we can look at the EQ. So what I want to do first is look at the EQ, and then we're going to look at microphones and cabinets, mindful of what we've done with the EQ, and move this around if we need to. Okay, so in for the journey. Let's see what we can do. So actually, I think the first thing I want to do is see if I can't. There's something funky going on because we're using the same mics. Let's go. Yeah, that's better. So although I feel like, so what you should know is there's 2 notes. I have control over the power amp, so I can set the power amp levels. I can cook it a bit if I want, or pull it back if I want. I've got control over depth, which I don't use, control over presence, which I use all of it, and then there's an EQ, and on the EQ I'm taking out 125 Hertz and a little bit of 320 Hertz, and then that's it. There's no other EQ on there. I've got a ribbon 121 on the left, so this might be why things sound a bit more, this, you know, this condenser 451 sounds good. Yeah, I like how that sounds. So what I want to do now is I've got my microphones on 2 notes on the short. Let's just see what happens when we go to medium on here, and I just want to pull this in so it's right in the middle of the cone, because we've gone to a less bright mic. Let's just check what's going on over here. Let's pull this to medium, stay on 3 centimeters, stay on the 57. No, I think I want that punch of it being up front. Yeah, now I still feel like the signal's stronger over on this side, and I feel like I want to just address something here. So before we go any further, let's go, we're going to boost this EQ up to about 10, 11, 12, something like that. Let's go 12, and let's go on a tight Q. So I'm going to sweep through some frequencies now, and we'll start hearing, if you're in headphones, some changes. Going to pull this cue back for a little moment. Now, all the frequencies sound a bit harsh when you're in that position. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to open this cue to about 4, and I'm just going to start pulling out . That a bit more level. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out one more I'm going to do, sorry, I'm having a thing. I think I want to, that 630. This is still bothering me though. It's okay. I still feel like the audio is more over in the left hand side in my headphones. Now something I want to show you, I just want to quickly go to the outputs and show you something. I should have showed you this at the beginning, I've only just remembered it. So the output, my main out is set to line level, yeah? The level is +4 dBu, okay? There's no EQ on there, there's only a low cut to 40 Hertz because I put basses through here, and the high cut's still at 8. And I do the same on both sides, yeah? So when we go into the sub outs, you'll see here we're set to recording because I used cabs in there. Here the EQ I do the same, yeah, the same cut. Oh, except I leave a bit more highs there because I use the acoustic sim through this side, okay? But here I go +4 dBu. Now when I had the HXeffects going through the send return, there was something going wrong and I ended up balancing at a slightly different level. And this week what I've done is I've taken everything out and I've balanced all the outputs, so the main out with the sub out. And what you might not know, and if you've been following me for a little while you'll know, but if you've not seen my videos before, I run my master knob here at 12 o'clock, okay? And to volume balance your main out with your sub out, so that when that's at 12 o'clock, and this is the same because you can control your main volume with this knob, and you control your sub out volume in this part of the GT1000, okay? But to balance these two sides, this needed to be at 26, okay? And that balances. Now we've actually got the same volume coming up on a volume meter, but 2 notes is a lot fuller, okay? And I feel like in GT1000 there's slightly less signal coming out of the left side. Now I'm going into a Mackie mixer, and I've, just going into one of the stereo channels on there. I've tried it in different channels, it's the same result on each. I've got to actually put it through 3 different mixers. I used to have a Yamaha, and now I've got a couple of Mackies. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bring down this level. I'm just going to start by bringing it down by 10. There you can hear the 57. Do you know what I might do? Let's see if we can't cheat. Let's just take, what happens if, I wondered about this, so let's take that off. What we've got there, let's add a little bit of bring up this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that back by 10. Going to come back into here, and I'm going to leave that where it is, but I'm going to just bring that to 30. Well, I'm just using my ears. I might be breaking the rules, I don't know, but to me, I feel like I've got more of that signal in there now. So what I want to do is now check my EQ. Let's pull that back one more. Just go. So that's a good level, and I've dealt with the nastiness. What I want to do now is let's experiment with. Now we're on a Tweed, so let's go to 412s. Sorry, 410s. 410. 410. That's more like it. No, I did struggle with the original cab sims, but that 410 sounds good. But it sounds quieter. So what I want to do now is come back to here. Let's bring this up. Now I could just turn the volume up on my output for the sub outs, but I don't want to do that because it's going to affect all of my patches that I'm set up in a different way, okay? For the moment, I'm just going to bump this by 1 dB. Now, that still sounds a lot warmer and fuller, and I feel like I need to do something about that. So I'm just going to experiment for a second. I feel like I'm missing a little bit of, let's just close you up. Oh, actually, let's not. Let's just raise that by 1 dB. What I'm going to do, just to even out the fight, I'm just going to come to here and I'm just going to bring this 1.25 push down. Just want to gain. Yeah, that'll do. Feel like that level there can come up, so let's go to that amp. Well, that's just, I think I forgot to turn that up. Yeah, I adjusted my levels before this. Okay, so we can maybe now, I can maybe look to pull back. That feels hot on the right side, so I'm just going to pull this back by 10. I know I've already done that, but I'll pull it back a bit. Okay, so I'm still stuck with the GT1000. I find that the tone itself has that boxed mids thing about it, whereas the 2 notes, and I'm using the Twin 77, I'm going to change that to something else at the moment. It just sounds better to me, and actually my level's good. Just this to me feels and sounds, well, they both feel like amps, but this sounds like an amp. So what I'm going to do is stay on this for a moment. I'm going to change it from the Twin 77, which is 2 12s and a 6L6 power cab. On the 2 notes, I'm changing it to a Princeton 112. That's my GT1000 again. Yeah, see, that sounds nothing like how we started out at the beginning of the session. If you go back to the beginning of the session, listen to that tone at the GT1000 compared to what we started out with different cabs and different mics. Yeah, and different EQ here. That's the only EQ that's changed, is that 2.5K. Now what we're going to do is let's just go back to that. And let's just move that to 3.15. prefer that. That feels more present and louder. So GT1000, oh of course, because the Princeton's is 112, isn't it, and this is 410s. And that's something to remember when you're shooting out things. Remember what you're actually shooting out. I'm just about to look at my volumes again, but I'm listening to 410s simulated out of the GT1000, and if I remember right, we did change to 410s. Yeah, whereas on 2 notes I've gone to a 112. Let's go back to my 212s, which are fuller. And now we're back in a similar kind of vibe. Now I did try the 2 notes, have got a fat mama or fat papa in here, which is meant to be 410s. I'm going to revisit that for another session on the Tweed, because I didn't like them first time round. I'll see if I like them after I've made the changes I've made to the 2 notes. Hopefully you found this session interesting. I'm just going to save the changes I made there. So now I've got a patch with the Tweed set up with the cabinet sounding not too bad. Does my 2 notes want to come up on the left side? Let me check. Just turning the ribbon 121 up to 4. That sounds better in the room. Let's go to a patch. Let's go to the boutique amp. Let's go to a patch where we've what we're going to do is we're just going to very quickly do a loop where I just test out to make sure my microphone levels are right. So I'm just going to... So let's just start with... Sounds like good levels in the room, using the 2 different amps there. The mic levels seem good, so I'm going to save that change. And I'm going to end the session there. So yeah, that's how I've been working, and hopefully that's going to show you how those GT1000 cabs sounded at the end of the day there. I think there was quite a difference between how we started out and how we finished up. Let me know in the comments how you're getting on with that. If you're using IRs, then you're using very similar technology to me. What I'm using is very similar to IRs, only it's hardware based, and I've got control over different elements to you, as I believe. I don't know, I've never used an IR. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the session. I'm waffling. Bye.